Hi, welcome back to RGV History Revisited. I'm Marlene Rodriguez. For those of you just tuning in, we looked at an ancient bridge that took years to be discovered, and then we looked at veterans that fought in the War of 1812, and now we're going to look at an old piece of historical land that is still so beautiful to look at, and its history makes it even more fascinating. Let's learn.
We are in one of the legendary ranches that was in South Texas. If you heard of the King Ranch, you heard of the Kennedy Ranch, well, this was Rancho Viejo. It dates back to 1781. This particular grant was given by the King of Spain at that time, and it was called the Espiritu Santo Grant. What we see in front of us here is and back of us, I'm saying, is the river boundary of where the ranch was. And it was more than 250,000 acres, extending all the way to the Arroyo Colorado. So the family came from Camargo, and they settled here in this ranch in the 1780s, and it stayed in their family for many, many, many years. This is a part of the holdings that were in Espiritu Santo that you might recognize as also linked with the Stillman Purchase, which was Brownsville. All right, this particular segment over here was divided into 6 segments way back at the time of Texas independence. Belonged to Maria Estefana José Escochea Cavazos Cortina, if you can imagine that name. Now, her sister had the parcel that was the Brownsville town site that went all the way up to the Arroyo, and that was the one that Stillman purchased in order to found Brownsville. The time of the ranch, from the old structures that were associated with the ranch, even up into the 1920s and thereabouts, they are no longer here. The only one that is here of any age is right over to this side over here, and it's an old chimney. Now, that really speaks loudly. A chimney, what would it have been used for? It was used to burn firewood to create steam. The first pumps that were on the river were steam-driven pumps. So that artifact that we have over there is the only remaining element of the old structures that were here. The ranch house that was associated with the original Rancho Viejo, but that was demolished in the hurricane of 1930. Ranch houses that were up more into the 20th century were where Rancho Viejo City is now, and those were demolished after it was bought and created over into a country club in 1962. In 1919, Íñigo Noriega, and that's why they call it the Noriega Tract, had control of this property. At that point in time, it was about 8,000 acres. And in 1919, he came through with a massive development. He wanted to make the world's largest grapefruit orchard here. And there are photos that show the giant tractors, the giant steam tractors, and all of the apparatus at that time that went with the building of that giant citrus orchard. You're going to see the name Cortina in the lineage here. Juan Cortina's mother was the one that lived on this spot right here, and this was their ranch. Actually, Juan Cortina's ranch was a little further north by about a mile. That was the San Jose Ranch as opposed to the Rancho Viejo. But this is the land that Juan Cortina was born on. This particular ranch here, the 280,000+ acres that was associated with this ranch, was the nucleus of the lower Rio Grande Valley. What went on here is what is legend, is what history is made out of. All of the interdealings that happened with the old families that originally bought out various sections of this ranch is in the history books right now. The families that are associated with this ranch, you have the Cavazos, you have the Cortina, you have the Tijerina, you have the Garcias. All of those are still walking around among us. The legacy is still here.
That land is so old and important to the Rio Grande Valley, which is probably why it has that name, Rancho Viejo. Now, for the last part of RGV History Revisited, we're going to look at a fascinating story of a train robbery that actually had to do with World War I, coming up after the break.